What's up, Bears fans? Harrison Graham here with another episode of Chicago Bears Now. Voice doing a little better. We'll see how the day progresses. Plan is to go live later today. On today's show, a huge salary cap update. We have some information on Drew Dalman's contract and Dayo Odeyingbo's contract, so we have a better understanding of where the Bears salary cap situation sits. So we'll kind of go through that, as I know Bears fans have been dying to know where the Bears sit from a financial perspective. Speaking of going live later today, if you joined me yesterday, I was battling. Voice is struggling. I've had some tooth pain. I actually have an appointment here in like an hour and a half, which is why I'm starting my day in my home office, but going to go into the office later. Plan is to go live. We're 25 subs away from 118,500. If we get there, we will go live. So help a brother out. I'm bringing you guys content every single day, despite not being able to talk great. So if you want me to go live later today with producer Cohen, and if you just want free and daily Bears content, we got you guys covered here on Chicago Bears Now. Okay, you take a look at Drew Dalman. His cap hits are pretty flat across the board, right? 3 years, $42 million contract, 28 guaranteed. Only got a $6 million signing bonus. So the signing bonus is an indicator, typically, of if the cap hit is going to be lower in year one or not. We'll get to Odeyingbo's contract in a second. Clear indicator there. $6 million spread out over 3 years. It's not going to change the cap hits that much. It's more of a flat hit, right? So this year, $13.6 million. Next year, $14 million. And then 2027, $14 million. Now, the benefit of going this route is in 2027, if he's cut, given the guarantees and not a huge signing bonus up front, easier to get out of the deal, right? Only a $2 million dead cap penalty if they were to cut Drew Dalman after 2 years, if it didn't work for any reason, or if they wanted to trade him, whatever the case may be. Obviously, we're hoping he's great for 3 years and they extend him and he's here for another contract. That would be ideal, as the Bears have not had stability, but there's an easy out after 2 years with the way this contract is structured. Okay, let's get to Dayo Odeyingbo's contract. He got 3 for $48. He got, I can't remember the number now. I think it's a $13.5 million signing bonus. So you spread that out over 3 years. It lowers the first year of his cap, right? $8 million this year. So pretty good, right? For a guy making $16 million per year on average when it comes to 3 for $48. Next year, it's $20.5 million. 2027, it's $19.5 million. If he gets cut, that's actually a typo there. That's my bad. If he gets cut in 2027, it is not $19.5 million. It is only $4.5 million. So there'd be a $4.5 million penalty there if he was cut in 2027. So you'd save $15 million. So again, a 2+1, slightly more dead cap penalty in that third year for Odeyingbo, but less than $5 million, not severe. Pretty good deal. And this one, obviously, a little different than a way Poles has structured deals in the past. Smaller cap hit up front. He's typically tried to, be flat, and sometimes in the first year or two even take on a little more money to be more flexible down the road. This one is still pretty flexible, but also allows flexibility this year if the Bears want to go make some other moves. So definitely a difference, right? Again, you go back to Drew Dalman, pretty flat across the board. $13 to $14 million all 3 years. Only $2 million dead cap in 2027. Odeyingbo, 8, 20.5, 19.5. Again, ignore the dead cap 2027. That's actually $4.5 million. That is where things sit for his contract. I know everybody wants to know, what about Grady Jarrett? Well, his cap details have not been released as of yet. He signed a 3-year, $43.5 million deal, 28.5 guaranteed. So again, similar structure, I would assume, in terms of, or similar structure in the sense that it's a 2+1. We'll see if this is more of a flat, front-loaded, more of a backloaded deal, kind of like Odeyingbo's deal was. And remember, there's advantages to both. If you backload, the advantages, well, more money right now, but bigger cap hits down the road. But you see a lot of teams do that because the cap continues to go up and it's easier to absorb those hits. We'll see what the approach is with Jarrett, obviously being a little bit of an older player, but that is how things sit right now. So what does that mean in terms of the updated cap space the Bears have? with the Odeyingbo and Dalman cap hits in for 2025, the Bears' updated cap space is $22.46 million. The reason I put that in air quotes is because we don't have Grady Jarrett's cap hit yet. And, I would say on the short end, it's going to be at least $8 million probably, similar to what Odeyingbo's was. Potentially up to 14, which is about what he's making per year average. Durham Smythe, Scott Daly, Tarvarius Moore, none of those would be more than $2 million, but let's say they're all 1.5. Okay, that's $4.5 million bucks. Let's say Jarrett's is, let's say it's on the short end. Let's say it's $7-8 million. Well, that leaves you with like $10 million. That's kind of where you sit, and that's kind of my guess. I would guess right now the Bears have around $10 million in cap space. You still got to pay your rookie draft class as well. So as of now, the Bears do not have a lot of money to work with. I think their big moves are mostly done. Now, I do want to mention that just because their big moves are mostly done and just because they don't have a ton of cap space doesn't mean they still can't create more cap space. If they want to make some cuts, Ryan Bates saves you $4 million bucks. If you sign one more solid backup interior lineman or draft one, that seems like an easy cut to me now. They may want him to stick around as the backup center. I'm not sure. It could be one of those where you wait until the draft, and then maybe he's a post-draft cut. If you drafted a guy that can be the backup center, how do they feel about younger guys on the roster to be the backup center? Obviously, the kid they brought in out of Arkansas from a couple years ago, they signed him to a futures deal. Maybe he's an option. We'll see. Kevin Byard. I don't think they'll do that one, given Jaquan Brisker's status, but maybe they sign a starting safety for cheaper than $7 million, and they cut Kevin Byard to save $7 million, which would be a net of a few million bucks if they sign his replacement. You could also extend players. If you extend Joe Thuney, you can create as much as an additional $11 million this year. To me, that seems like an easy one. I would give Joe Thuney 2 years, 18 to 20 million bucks per year, one of the best guards in the game. 2 for 40, call it a day. I mean, that seems pretty easy given what the guard market's been in free agency. Kyler Gordon would save $1 million, $2 million bucks if you extend him as well. Obviously, you could still restructure guys. DJ Moore, Montez Sweat, those both, if you did those individually, 13 plus million for each of those. If you did both, be north of 25 million bucks. Jalen Johnson, almost 10 million bucks. Now, would I do multiple of those? I'd maybe do one. Because, again, you do want to remain flexible down the road. I don't think the Bears yet are in a place where you just restructure, keep kicking the can. You don't want to be the Saints where you're doing that when you're not a competitive team. You do that when you're a really good team, right? The Chiefs, the Eagles, the Bills. Like, that's when you just kick the can down the road because you're not worried about down the road. You're worried about now. You're trying to win right now, which obviously the Bears are, but they got to raise the floor of being a consistent winner first before you start going down that path. So I think maybe you pick one of those. You do an extension for Joe Thuney and Kyler Gordon. Maybe you cut Ryan Bates. All of a sudden, you got $20 more million, $25 million, depending on what they do. So we'll see what decisions they make on that front. I'm guessing they'll find a way to free up an additional $10 to $20 million at some point between now and the end of the draft, and that gives them flexibility. You also need money to spend during the season. Kind of the minimum there is $5-6 million. Teams keep between 5 and 10 million typically because injuries pop up. You got to sign guys, all that stuff. So I would guess they create some more cap space here with cuts, extensions, and maybe 1 or 2 restructures, but that remains to be seen. Okay, what do you want the Bears to do next? Who is a player you would like Chicago to sign or trade for next? I'm still in business for a Michael Mayer trade, by the way. If you pulled that off, you got a Cole Kmet, Michael Mayer, Durham Smythe tight end room. That would be pretty exciting. Sign a Josh Reynolds type, Tim Patrick, someone like that. So I definitely think more moves are coming. But I think it's safe to say that the big spending moves are either done or there's maybe one more if they do some cap maneuvering to go get one more big player. I think you're going to see mostly minor moves the rest of the way between now and the draft. Okay, that's going to do it for this morning's edition of Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Boys, we're battling. I think we're in a better spot than yesterday, but certainly not near 100% in terms of the projection here. So, send good vibes my way. Send good vibes my way as we're hoping to go live. Again, if we get 25 or more new subs on this video, we will be live at some point this afternoon. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down.